especially, as you guys as youth and, young kids, a lot of times you want a friend, right? And when you don't realize that you want a friend and you want a companion, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, before you take a friend, you really have to see, is that person qualified to be my friend? What does it even mean to be qualified to be my friend? If that person can be my friend to take me and me be with them to go to Jannah together, if they can't be at that level, they don't deserve to be your friends. And search for someone better, which is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us right there are certain commonalities that will be there. And this is what you could see in this ayah. So these people were worshiping other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all right? And they were worshiping certain gods, or they had a certain path in life. They had a certain way in life, and where they had a certain religion that they had practiced. And a religion is also a culture. It's also a way that they would practice their fun and everything. And in fact, the ayah is so clear about it that it becomes mawaddata baynikum. That creates a certain companionship, like whatever and whoever you're going out with, it starts creating in a relationship, companionship, and you start gathering on that. And that's why, for example, you go to school. Many of the people that you're with in school, they become without you realizing, because of you sharing the same class, sharing same topics. There becomes this kind of companionships, kind of relationship, kind of commonalities that start getting there. But fil hayat dunya, and that's why in this dunya you may find a lot of people, but it's not about do we have commonalities regarding what we're doing in space and in place and all these different things. But you always want to ask yourself, well, how is that relationship going to continue on Judgment Day? If that person is leading you towards a different path, you know what? Break that relationship. You don't need them. You have a higher purpose that you're living up to, and that is the akhirah. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that on Judgment Day, they will deny that they were even each other. They were with each other. They will deny one another. They will boycott one another. In fact, they will curse one another. They will wish that the other person was going to go to hellfire forever and never be blessed with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, well, you guys were having all that companionship in dunya. You decided to be friends with that person. So now the ending is going to be together. And that's why you always want to ask, is this person qualified to lead me to Jannah, or me lead them to Jannah? If not, find another friend. And in the end, of course, if they are going to hellfire, you don't want to go with them. If you don't want to go with them, don't even be friends with them. And this is right here in this ayah. This is, of course, in Surah Al-Ankabut. It's actually talking about the people that took a specific religion, but it's not any different from different types of religions, in where it was taking a certain behavior. So what were they doing? Well, during the time of Prophet Lut alayhi salam, there were these people. What were the things that they were doing? Well, they were basically doing a lot of this type of behavior that is right now common during our times, which is a man marrying a man and a woman marrying a woman, and as if they are actually married and dealing with one another in that way. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had sent Prophet Lut in order to tell them such a behavior is not acceptable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if the media is trying to market it, that it's okay, and that you can't be, quote unquote, like what they would call a judgmental, and it's a matter of choice, and people were found that way by nature. God did not create you to do the wrong thing. You made the wrong choice by doing that. And that's what Prophet Lut alayhi salam was telling them, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't create you that way. And of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about how Prophet Lut alayhi salam was telling them, hey, what you're doing is actually fahisha. It's going beyond the limits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had permitted in what it means to be a friend, a man and a woman and a woman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put certain regulations. You went farther than what the relationship is supposed to look like. And in fact, no one came with such a behavior, with such a destructive behavior. And here, in order for someone not to misunderstand what Prophet Lut alayhi salam was trying to tell them to do, the ayah was so clear about it and said, well, they were actually practicing where a man would marry a man, and they would prevent and stop having, the children and all that. And the other thing that they were doing, they would do some kind of party nights, and they would do all that stuff. That's haram. And what were the people saying? What was their response? They just said, you know what? If you don't listen to us, and if you don't stop being judgmental, and you don't start accusing us and start talking bad about us, you know what you were going to do? We're going to get you out of the country. And you know what? Just get them out of the country. These people are trying to seek purity. That's in another ayah that says that. So here they just said, let's see, send your God's destruction on us, and let's see what can happen to us. So Prophet Lut alayhi salam just said, Ya Allah, give me victory on these people, on the people that are mufsideen. So the mufsid is actually a person that's causing destruction and away from the pattern that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created in this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a certain pattern. And of course, these people, they, in another ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains that they were just, get them out. They're seeking purity. It's like their problem is seeking purity. They started flipping even in the way they saw things. They saw purity as if it was something that was disgusting. And that's why they thought that Prophet Lut alayhi salam deserves a punishment to be expelled out of the country, because they considered that he was too disgusting to accept their way of life. And this is really important to mention, because if that person is practicing a behavior or even a religion that is away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, find another friend, because you want a friend that's going to lead you to Jannah, not a friend